All right, all you health and wellness practitioners out there dedicated to making this world a healthier place. It's Adam and Elliot coming at you live today. And we've got a really great episode because a lot of people have been asking us how we went from absolutely zero, having nothing, just an idea in our head, to $267,000 in sales, fixing fatigue. And if you're just getting to know us, Elliot is a life coach. She's over here. I am a health coach, and a long time ago, we came up with this idea that we really wanted to help people with burnout. We really wanted to help people with fatigue, help them really increase their energy, help them increase their productivity. And it wasn't like an instant success out of the gate. There were a lot of things that we learned. There were a lot of things that we tripped over. And there were many times we were just like, screw it. I want to go home. I don't want to do this anymore. So one of the reasons we're doing this is because we have a series of demos coming up that we're doing live about an impact certification, and it's about impact-driven profit systems. And the way that we got to designing these impact-driven profit systems is literally through our own journey of successes and failures, and definitely more failures than successes. But then when you start weeding them out, you start picking up the big things. It's like, what are the 3 or 4 things that we can share today, Ellie? I mean, obviously, we can make this a 5-day episode if we wanted to, talking about all the stuff that we've learned. But what would you say are some of the biggest things that we learned going from zero to $267,000 with a health offer targeting fatigue?
Yeah, gosh, there are so many. But I think, when I will whittle this down, I think one of the first things is, especially when you're starting a new offer. Now, this could mean it's a brand new business for you, which for us it was, or it could mean a new offer within a current business, but giving it the time to get legs. Because in kind of the instant gratification society that we are in, it is really tough to have the patience to let something new in your business get enough time to build speed and to build momentum. And for me, the main thing that got me through those initial, periods where it's not a matter of when we will succeed, but actually, no, I take that back. It's not a matter of if we will succeed, but when we will succeed, which was the big thing of just like, okay, it's not a matter of if, because we were really committed to making this happen. And we were committed to showing up and doing what we needed to do every single day to work on the business.
And I want to jump in there, some of the big things we learned. And at any time that if you're hearing that during this episode, if you'd like to join us for one of the demos we have coming up, the live demos we do for our impact certification and our impact program and the impact-driven profit systems, just comment yes below and we'll reach out. We'll get you on the calendar. So at any time you can comment yes below and we'll definitely put you out there. Even if you can't make one of the times, you can put yes below. We can even send you a replay of one of the demos so you kind of check out more about what we're talking about. But going from zero, like the idea literally got generated from our last business. We were in the action sports industry, so we had specialty services, but then we also had retail and manufacturing. So we were literally all 3 realms of business that you could be in at the same time.
Yep.
Not separately, at the same time. And going back to it, I think, Elia, really what we learned is really getting rid of all the stuff you could do and really just focusing on one thing. Being really good at just one thing. You've heard this time and time again. I think Tim Ferriss started it with the 4-hour work week. He's like, just one thing. And I know a lot of people out there get really, really concerned. We're like, but what about all these other people out there? And I think defining what the word niche means is one thing we really learned, because at first we're like, oh my gosh, we're going to be known as the burnout experts. We're only going to be the fatigue experts. We're only going to be the energy experts. And what we realized is that is just the focus of a marketing campaign, but it attracts the right people into you. Would you agree with that?
Yes, it's really, well, like you're saying, I mean, it's the message of a marketing campaign and the keyword being message, right? Really understanding your message, understanding who you're speaking to. And I have to raise my hand because I was one of the biggest proponents of just like, oh my gosh, like, why do we have to have such nuanced messaging? And it doesn't matter about this word or that word. Like, it just is what it is. But really what I also learned is how important messaging really is. And there are few key things when you're describing your ideal client, when you are talking about what you do, that can really, really impact how it hits other people, or if they are like raising their hand going, that's me. And that those words really are powerful. And it's really important to make sure that you are communicating in a way that they understand and can feel like is what they're experiencing.
And talking about messaging, because everybody is always about like, how do I get more clients? How do I make more money? It's all about the marketing thing. I think another really big thing that we learned going from zero to $267,000 with our health offer was that we tried to use the wrong tool to fix the problem. And so many times we tried to fix the cash flow constraint or the time constraint with marketing. And that was often the wrong tool for the wrong job. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I think, I think one of the biggest struggles too when you're in that beginning phase is just knowing how long to stick it out. Because you're kind of like in this space where it's like, I know this could take some time, but then if you're 6 months in or a year in and you're like, am I crazy? Is this too much time? Should I just ditch this? All that kind of thing. And so I think it's also really important to understand that if you have something that thousands of people struggle with, and you put your offer out there and you have one person or a couple people come in and validate that, yes, you are speaking my language. Yes, this is a problem that I have. You have all the validation that you need that this is absolutely a powerful offer. Then it just comes down to enough eyeballs seeing your message. And what happens for a lot of people is they have a validated offer, but they just don't get enough eyeballs on the message. So they feel like their offer is messed up.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of quantity of people.
Well, this opens up to a couple other big aha moments. And that is, nobody wants to buy life coaching. Nobody wants to buy health coaching. Nobody wants to buy weight loss. What they want is what those things give them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so learning to communicate your value, but also, you can communicate your value all day long, but we still see a lot. We even struggle with cash flow constraints and time constraints because the structure, the way we were doing things was off.
Mm-hmm.
And so we also learned that it's really important to really look at what acres of diamonds do I have under my feet right now with the processes I already have, but I'm not utilizing, and I'm literally turning opportunity away.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think, would you say that some of the lessons that we've learned, I mean, when I think about this, you're talking about going 0 to 267,000, is what you learn in that first beginning stage or at your first 50,000 or 100,000 is different than what you're learning after, your second 100,000. And so for you, what do you think it is your biggest lessons as we started to get successful? What was something that you learned?
One, we did not have to have everything in place before we launched.
Yeah.
And so we spent almost 2 years prepping the business to get out there. And then after enrolling our first 2 or 3 clients, we literally realized we had to go back and redo everything. And so getting ready to get ready was something that really, really hit home for us. Like, oh my God, we could have been making money and helping people this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. We were so focused on making sure we had the perfect program, the perfect course, the perfect everything, the perfect systems, the perfect email, the perfect software, the perfect everything. Like we were so focused on stuff that just didn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to go back and look at that. And what we've realized is it is more important to take your idea and to put it into action right now and get your first dollar in the first 7 days than it is to get your LLC, make sure you've got your accounting, make sure you've got a QuickBooks account and all this stuff. It is more important to take that idea and put it into action and get somebody validating your idea, your skill, what you can do in the health and wellness space as fast as possible.
That is very, very true. Very true. And I think one of the biggest things I learned too is really, one was to see the fruition of our work was incredible. And that was really powerful. And I think as you move along, the confidence that you build is really, really key because it starts to build on itself and you start to get that momentum going forward. But the other thing that you really start to notice and you start to learn is And this is a reason why, Adam, what you're saying, which is, not having everything in place, is as you grow, your systems and structures are going to shift and change. So trying to put a structure in place for, okay, this is how the company is going to look, because, when we hit 200,000 or 300,000, it's going to be like this. And in our experience, our company has shifted so much in the structure as we've moved along. And that is why it is so important to, again, bring in things as you need them. And it can be scary because that means you have to like run really fast when you realize something needs to shift, but it's really the only way to do it.
And it's funny, talking about systems, because we had some systems in place, at $10,000 a month and $20,000 a month and $30,000 a month. And we added some systems in and we got to $80,000 a month with the fatigue thing. And then we broke the company. We thought, oh, we're gravy. All the systems are in place. And then we hit 100 grand a month and we broke it because we realized that there were some fulfillment issues. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have got to be open to evolving the process the entire time that you're doing this. This is another reason why we created our impact certification as an organic living model that can be flexible to grow with you. So you can get out there and literally create a high impact offer, learn how to market and sell it. So you can have a really good bottom line, but you're also changing people's lives. You're saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars per family over just being in traditional sickness-based healthcare. And if you're just joining us, like I mentioned earlier, we do live demos on our impact certification. So if this is something you're interested in, type yes below. We can get you the schedule of when we're doing the live demos. If you can't make one of them, we can send you a replay of one of the live demos if you'd like to learn more about what's happening. But just comment yes below and we'll be in contact with you and we get that information over to you so you can learn more about what an impact-driven profit system is. Now, Elliot, we also learned, we're talking about things that we learned going from 0 to 267,000, but we also learned what things are not.
Yes, what things are not. And I think that, kind of piggybacking on what we talked about yesterday, which is no more junk, marketing, and really understanding that there were so many things that we wanted to hire out and have done for us. And what we really needed to do was do it ourselves and learn and go through that process so that we could actually know who it was that we needed. And we're actually going through this, in some form or fashion right now. I think every company is always going through a level of this where they are evolving and changing, and you're starting to, you have to do first so that you know how to have somebody help along the process. And so I think, coming back to your question of what is learn what you need to know, really put that effort in and really understand how to market your own company, because it will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, it's not just market your own company, but how to set the company up for success.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And a lot of people try to wing this when there are people out there far ahead of them who have already been successful, who can totally consult and mentor them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think a lot of people, the word coaching has been more accepted now than it ever has been in the past, because in the past it's kind of like this voodoo thing, whatever. But I don't want to confuse coaching with consulting.
Mm-hmm.
And coaching, which is very, very important, it's where somebody comes in and kind of helps you figure out what to do and gives you some ideas and things like that. Where consulting is, they really guide you, they really put the plan together for you and even help you do some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's a little bit of difference there. A great example would be like when I was leading a team, we were doing a project for the Disney Corporation, Mickey Mouse and all that stuff, Disney. And they had come to us asking, we were consultants at the time. That was our job. They were asking us to come up with an idea for something to increase revenue outside of Disney instead of just people coming to the thing. And so we literally came up with the Disney Vacation Club in the Big Red Boat. And that was my team. And I was leading that way back in the 90s when we presented that down in Orlando to those people. And that ended up being responsible for billions of dollars in revenue for that company.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that, even though you might be a giant organization, sometimes looking outside of your jar because you can't read the label when you're inside of it all the time is a great thing to do. And to look for people ahead of you, but also don't be confused with, like Ellie was talking about, the done for you stuff, right? Because it is so easy to get lured into seeing a very, very shiny thing. And it's like, hey, we'll just do this for you. Give us money and this magical thing's going to happen. And how many investments did we make, Elliot, where that just did not happen? I mean, close to $100,000. It's like, I remember one of the first things we did, we saw this company like, hey, we'll write you an ad, we'll manage it, we'll put it together, we'll build you this funnel, and people are just going to magically show up. I'm like, I'm a marketer. I don't have time for copywriting right now. This will be great. And it was absolutely, I mean, we got some cool copy, but it did not bring us any revenue.
Yeah. So I think, that's where it's really, one mantra for us is no matter what you do is you're going to utilize it as a springboard for your next step. And so I think for us, it's, oh my gosh, look at how much we learned. Oh, if we would have known this or done this ourselves in the beginning, we would have saved ourselves so much time and headache and things like that. But then also it's really important as a business owner that if you go into something and it doesn't meet your expectations, that you still use that to grow your business.
Yeah.
That way you never lose, right? You never lose in that sense of just like, oh, that was a total waste. And that's one thing that I hear a lot of people say sometimes, is like, things are a total waste. It's like, it's never a total waste.
No.
It's just, again, how could I have been more efficient with that? How could I do it better? And so I think, this is again, where we're really looking at, you become efficient when you understand and get really clear on your own marketing and messaging and structure strategies in your business, and really making sure that those are set up in a way that, okay, I get it. I understand it. I'm not going to hire it out until I really get it myself, and then I can hire it out.
And when you do hire it out or you do go and find help, make sure the people that you're working with understand the wellness industry. I'm not talking about the hospital industry or the insurance industry or the supplement industry. I'm talking about the wellness industry, and that is helping people overcome physical, mental, and emotional health problems, helping them significantly improve from something, whether it be a relationship issue or it's fatigue like we specialize in, or it's a falling apart relationship or whatever it is. Make sure that you do that, because one of the biggest mistakes we did when we went out for those, we literally fed our business magic pills thinking that these people were going to do stuff, and they did stuff for us. But it wasn't until afterwards we realized, oh, this works really great in the real estate market, but it sucks in the health industry. Mm-hmm. Oh, this works really great for multi-level marketers, but that is not us. Mm-hmm. Oh, this strategy, which seems so simple and easy, works for certain products, but it doesn't work for this really transformational service that we're dealing with. We need a different strategy, different approach. And I think people, and we're guilty of it. Every human being is guilty of just like, I just want easy. I just want to hit the easy button. I just want to be done. I just want to, I'm willing to trade money for easy. But so many times it ends up producing less than amazing results. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Absolutely. All right. Anything else that we want to add in on what we learned before we close up for today?
Yeah, I think, we could talk about this, guys, all day long. If you have a specific constraint that you're dealing with, either time or cash flow, or you have a question for Ellie or I, and you'd love to know, it's like, hey, how was your experience with this when you were growing your business from 0 to 267,000 with your health offer? Remember, we also do business now too, right? So this is why we've got our impact certification. And the reason that impact certification literally existed because all the people watching this stuff, the people in our inner circle, our colleagues, were going, how did you do that? How did you go from 0 to 267,000? And that's why we put together the impact certification. Really, it's about how to create, market, and sell a high impact offer that puts at least $100,000 to the bottom line in as little as 12 weeks, all while really making this world a healthier place, all while saving people a lot of money over the healthcare system, doing it in a high integrity, ethical way. If you'd like to learn more about those impact systems that we do, type yes in the comments below. We'll either get you on one of our live demos that we do in group settings, or we will send you a replay of one of the ones that we've done in the past, and on and on and on. Or if you have a question about, hey, how did you do this when you were doing this and this? Or what stage did you get to and you realize this? Or, hey, I'm really stuck right here. Put that in the comments below. We'll be happy to address it. Until then, everybody have a great day. And this Thursday, February 8th, we are doing a live demo. And so if you do want to come and join us for that, we're doing it at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Again, put yes below if you want to join that, or if you want to join one of our ones in the future. If you can't make that time, we'll get you a replay. Until then,